Hello everybody, it is me, Phantom Zawai, back with the cold that never dies, here to bring you some more G-Senjou no Maou. So, last time we hopped directly onto Tsubaki's route, and yeah, we're still waiting to see if Hiaki will come back. The ransom has been delivered, but Maou is still clearly manipulating Subaki. To what end, we still don't know. So, without further ado, let's continue. A lot of people are absent today, apparently. The absences stood out. Was there a cold going around? Yeah, I've got it.
Tsubaki wa?
Who knows, maybe she's late?
またなんかあったのか?
Maybe.
マジか。いい加減警察にポイしちゃった方がいいんじゃねえの?
You don't know the whole story.
令状ってなんだよ。これだけはぶられてんのかよ。
Sorry about that noise there. You're shifting around a little.
おはようございます。
Usami slowly appeared.
ちょっと宇佐美さん、聞いてよ。はい。椿どうなったの？あれから進展ナッシング？ナッシングです。残念なことに。
So, you ran around yesterday for nothing? Usami didn't answer my question, but only lowered her head a bit.
昨日はどうも不快なことを言ったようで、すみませんでした。
Sure. I wanted to inquire about Usami and Mao's relationship yesterday, but she managed to dodge the subject.
どうしたの？二人とも何分かち合ってるの？いえ、訳ありな事情がありまして。また事情？もういい加減にしてよ。
I'm with you, Eiichi. Eiichi was probably annoyed. He left us and started chatting with a group of girls.
なんか悪いこと言いましたかね?
Don't worry about it. Usami's eyes and mine met. So, how did it go?
収穫はゼロです。初日だし、勢いで3軒くらい回ってみようとしましたが、これが大変で。
Yeah.
暗いわ寒いわ怪物は出るわで、気がついたら朝日を拝んでいました。
What were you doing?
ガラスとか散乱してますし、いきなり床に大穴が開いてたり、ネズミが運動会してたりと、息をつく暇もなかったですね。
You look worn out.
いえいえ、これからです。
Taking a second look, I noticed there was a bruise on Usami's leg.
まあ、なんとかなると思いますよ。
Usami remained optimistic about the whole thing. Sorry, but I'll be unable to accompany you for the next 2 days. With regards to the property issue, a final negotiation has yet to be made with Sano Corporation.
いいですよ。では、今日か明日にはひろあきくんを見つけ出すとしましょう。
Where did this courage come from? Why so confident?
今のところ、雲をつかむような手応えを感じて。
Meaning you can't grasp it at all.
ですね。もう少しヒントがあればなーとか思いますね。
How about looking over the photo the culprit sent back one more time?
それもそうですね。
The bell rang as we spoke, and class started. Usami inspected the photo thoroughly during the entire lesson. What, Subaki just let Usami have that photo? Oh, whatever. Lunchtime. The cold air on the rooftop was more chilling than ever. Subaki arrived around this time. Oh, what happened today?
病院に寄ってたんだよ。
To take care of her mother, I guess.
あれ？みんなは？
Kenan's sleeping. Eiichi... I don't know.
はるちゃんは？
The classroom, maybe. She's been staring at the photo all day.
そっか。二人っきりだね。
She looked happy. Anything come up lately? That unnatural feeling from a few days back arose in my mind once more.
何かって、それは浅井くんも知っての通りだよ。
Right, but I wasn't referring to the kidnapping.
ごめんね。昨日も心配かけたみたいで。変かな、私。
I couldn't really tell you.
昨日も心細くてね。
A shadowed expression crept to her face. She's unstable. In any case, it wouldn't be wise to conjecture Tsubaki's feelings based on her bright attitude. Would you like to go shopping today?
あ、いいの？
If you keep it to around 30 minutes. There's still time before the negotiation. I'll just hang out with her for a while.
やっぱりやめておくよ。
You're not in the mood? She forced a smile and then let out a sigh of exhaustion.
ごめんね、せっかく誘ってもらったのに。私、浅井君と。
She tensed up as if she were preparing to say something, but then
浅井さ
Usami jogged over to me.
ん、浅井さん、ちょっとこの写真見てもらっていいですかね。
What? How rude.
はるちゃん、おはよう。おう。
Her greeting felt like an afterthought, as if she'd almost forgotten in her frenzy.
ひろあきくんの顔がアップで写ってるじゃないですか。
Yeah,
すぐそばに倒れた書棚があるじゃないですか。
yeah,
今日の私の髪型どうですか？
irrelevant.
すみません。書棚の下に白い書類のようなものが見えますよね。
Mm-hmm. I squinted at the photo. Just as Usami had said, there was something that looked like a document under the shelf.
これ、なんて書いてありますかね？
Huh? You mean on the paper? I put the picture so close to my eyes that the surface was practically kissing my nose. I can't make it out. It's either terrible handwriting or it's smudged. It doesn't look like something that was written for other people to read. Maybe it's a sheet from a diary or something?
日記といえば、椿はどうだ？どう
One sec.
かな。
Alright, sorry about that. The three of us squeezed together.
あんまり見たくないな。ごめんね。そうか、悪かった。
There's no way she would want to see a picture of her imprisoned brother. What do you think, Usami?
わかりません。内容は、
Content?
はい。これはアルファベットだとは思います。
Roman letters. She was right. It really did look like something written in English.
ここが A で、この辺が J ですね。
It does look that way. Good eye there.
ここ、ちょっと目がっつり開いて見てもらえませんか？
Is that R? P?
何なんすかね、この RP って。
It stands for rune points, and in Rune Factory... No, never mind. It's written right there at the beginning. A capital R and lowercase p.
ダイイングメッセージですかね。
And who do you think would have died there, genius?
まあ、この発見がどれほど意味があるかというと、微妙なところなんですがね。
Well, that's just great. She's right. It really doesn't seem to be that big of a deal. All we know is that the ruined building where Hiaki is imprisoned holds English books. We could hardly call it a big step.
もう少し頭をひねってみますわ。ねえ、はるちゃんは何してるの？
Usami answered with confusion.
もちろん、ひろあきくんを探してるんだわ。やっぱり。
Usami frowned.
何かいけなかったか？
Tsubaki's lips were quivering.
無理しないでね。気持ちは嬉しいんだけど、なんていうか、はるちゃんは別に探偵さんでも警察の人でもなんでもないわけじゃない。
Usami looked confused after hearing this, and Subaki joined her in awkward silence.
手を引いてくれと言っているのか？ごめん。
Whew, how unexpectedly direct. Subaki lowered her head slightly.
だって、はるちゃんはどうして犯人を捕まえようとしているの？犯人を捕まえなければ、今後第2、第3の誘拐事件が起こるかもしれないぞ。そういう正義感みたいなもので？大口叩いておいて、私は身代金を奪われてしまった。責任も感じている。責任って、そんな、もういいよ。どうしたんだ、椿。私はただ犯人の手からひろあきくんを取り戻したいんだが。
Tsubaki's face changed dramatically at this point. She let loose her suppressed emotion that had been accumulating over time.
はるちゃんは 自分のせいでヒロアキが誘拐されたと思ってるんじゃないの？
Oh shit! At some point, her nervous, wandering eyes had begun to stare straight into Usami.
犯人の動機のことを言っているのか？だってお金が目的ならどうしてヒロアキなのかな？どうしてうちみたいに普通の家を狙ったのかな？
I didn't expect this from Subaki. Not only did seeing her blame another surprise me, but to find out that she had a genuine interest in the criminal's motives.
椿の言う通りだよ。魔王がわざわざ誘拐事件を起こしたのは私を何らかの形で陥れるためだと思う。じゃあ私たちはとばっちりを受けたっていうの？
Subaki cried out hysterically. The warm atmosphere of the crowded school in the middle of the day froze in an instant.
ごめん。
Subaki's shoulders trembled, and she unsteadily covered her mouth.
なんでかな。ごめん。こんなこと言うつもりじゃなかったのに。
Subaki's family was suffering from this hardship because of Usami. It somehow brought my mind to the image of a detective in a novel who found murder cases wherever he went. It's not that I don't understand Tsubaki's feelings, but the person she's taking her rage out on should be the kidnapper, not Usami.
私のせいでヒロアキ君が誘拐されて、私のせいで家庭が不幸になっている。だからもうこれ以上関わらないでほしいというわけだな。
Usami said this in a surprisingly calm tone. Subaki averted her eyes under the pressure.
どうしてそんなきつい言い方するのかな。きついかな。はるちゃんがよくわからないよ。
Subaki spoke with her head down and her eyes up, as if to judge Usami's reaction.
ごめん、迷惑かけて。自分、教室に戻ります。
With a face which clearly stated there was nothing more to say, Usami walked away. Hey, I called out to the trembling Subaki. Have you eaten lunch yet? Let's go eat together if you haven't. Subaki remained silent long after my invitation had dissolved into the wind. During the lessons, I kept an eye on Subaki from the seat behind her. Her mind seemed to have been wandering off as she answered the teacher's questions haphazardly. Aichi whispered to me during English class.
やべえよ。マジ今日は風邪でみんな休んでるからすぐ指名されるよ。
The coming winter brought flu season with it, it seems.
なんでこの世に英語とかあるんだろうな。なんで言葉の違いがあるんだろうな。愛に国境はないのによ。
You sound like a poet today, Aichi.
ああ、これ決めた。世界の共通語を日本語にする。将来そういう職場で働くわ。
Sounds great. Still, to do that, you'll have to study English.
なんつうの？英語とかイタ語とかドイツ語とかはとりあえず滅ぼすわけだよ。
Do you really have to destroy them?
だってさ、大文字の O と数字の0がマジ見分けつかないじゃん。不便だってこれ共通語として。
It would hurt a lot of people if you destroyed their languages.
いや、真のアルファベットは俺が完成させる。
Usami, from the seat in front of us, creaked her head in our direction.
今、なんて？
Huh?
栄一さん。僕？ええ。アルファベットは俺が完成させる。もっと前です。
Talking about the O and the zero?
大文字の O と数字の0が見分けつかない。もうちょい前です。
I have no idea what she's talking about.
セックスは面倒だけど、股間は痛い。ほらほら、そんなこと言ってねえだろうが。
Oh, that was funny.
なんだっけ。
He said he destroyed languages like English, Italian, and German.
それです。
She nodded silently.
一緒に滅ぼす？いや、栄一さん、助かりました。浅井さん、雲をつかむような手応えが綿菓子くらいになりましたよ。
What is that? Just when I was about to ask, the teacher glared at me. We might have been a bit too noisy for the class time. Usami averted her eyes and became silent. The lesson proceeded without a second thought. So Usami realized something. Usami hastily left the classroom after school. Wait up, Usami.
なんすか？急いでいるんですが。
Did you think of something just now?
ああ、そんなことですか。
She said this as if the thought had just surfaced now.
あ、そうだ。浅井さんに調べてもらった方が早いかな。
Investigate what?
気づいたんです。写真にあった書類の文字。
Oh, excuse me. Getting a little too comfy here, I guess.
あれは英語ではなく、多分ラテン語か何かなんです。詳しくは知りませんが。
Latin, you say?
RP なんですがね。
That's Latin?
栄一さんがドイツ語とか言ったので、一瞬ドイツ語かなとか思った時にピンときました。今日は風邪で欠席が多いみたいですしね。
I suddenly got it too. Are they medical records?
おそらくその類です。病院でお医者様がよく RP と書いているのを目にしてたので、それを思い出しました。
What does it mean?
確か処方するとかそういう意味らしいです。
I see. But wait. Hey, Usami. When we looked at that picture, didn't we decide that all other characters in the document were Roman too?
はい。カルテなんじゃないかなと疑って読むと、他にドイツ語で血液という単語を拾えなくもなかったです。
One second, I'm gonna open a drink. Alright. Gotta, quench my throat a little bit. This girl knows German, eh? Though it might be German, I've heard there are relatively few doctors who actually use German to take records. Apparently, they usually use Japanese or English.
はい。カルテにしては日本語が少しも混じっていないのがおかしいとも思いました。
She adjusted her hair.
ただですね、お年を召した開業医の方の中には稀にいらっしゃるんだそうです。
Oh, right. And then an old abandoned hospital would make sense.
調べやすいと思いませんか？
Hiroaki-kun is imprisoned in an abandoned hospital? We can narrow it down a lot, huh?
はい。病院と分かっただけでもかなりの収穫です。
We should investigate quickly. I doubt there will be many abandoned hospitals, so we might find it right away.
昨日みたいに立ち入りの許可もお願いしていいですかね？自分も調べてみますので。
Wait a second. I stopped Usami before she could dart off. What Subaki said to you just now, doesn't it bother you?
もう関わらないでほしいと言われましたね。
Yeah, it looks like Subaki's feelings got a little out of control.
気にはしていません。せめて椿たちが警察を頼るまでの間は自分なりに調べてみようと思っています。それでは。
She ran briskly down the hallway. I should probably get home. Maybe I caught the flu. My head is aching a bit. Even so, that was an impressive find. Not bad, Usami. Feeling a bit dizzy, I placed my palm tightly against my forehead. I received a phone call from Mr. Somiya while walking unsteadily through the crowd.
Asai-kun, 君のおかげで助かったよ。
It was nothing.
例の東区の件だがね、三輪という一家がついに折れてくれたらしく、計画はまた軌道に乗り始めたそうだ。
That's good to hear.
君がどんな手口を使ったのかはわざわざとうまい。何にせよ礼を言う。さすがは魔王といったところか。
Somiya was quite pleased. No, I should be the one thanking you. I really appreciate you lending that place to me.
あの東区の廃墟か?
Just as you had stated, even the gangs and homeless wouldn't go near there. It's really a wonderful place.
あの病院跡は警備会社の人間をたまに巡回させているからね。
I see. Is that all for today?
その廃墟の件だがね。
What is it?
担当の人間から偶然耳にしたんだが。
Who?
さあ、警察の人間ではなさそうだったらしいがね。
Uh-oh. Did they leave a name?
こっちが山王物産だと知って尻込みしたらしいな。だから当然立ち入りの許可は出していない。
Thanks for the heads up. I'll contact you again soon. I hung up and sank into thought. Was it Usami? If it was, her investigation is proceeding faster than predicted. The pictures might have been too much of a hint. If all I wanted was to inform the family of Hiroaki's safety, I could have just put the phone up to him. And there was no need to go out of my way to send a photo of where the hostage was kept. There was no doubt that Usami would try to find Hiroaki's whereabouts through the photo. However, my true aim lies elsewhere. They won't find the hostage, even if they search the hospital. This marks Usami's second major mistake, the first being the fiasco with the ransom. And this will eventually fuel the flames of strife between Usami and Subaki. That's why I sent her the photo. Helping the Sano Corporation with this troublesome land acquisition trifle might be the main goal of this kidnapping, but that's not the full extent of my motives. Usami Haru. That woman is one of the few people privileged to knowledge of my past. She's also the only one searching for me right now. I want to finish her, but I'll have to let her go this time. The hints the photo left were more troublesome than expected. I was nearly caught by Usami while running through the downtown area too. Of course, no evidence that could clearly indicate my location was left behind. Still, you can never be too careful. If their search for Hiroaki had taken just a bit longer, I could have taken a friend away from Usami. Of course, making use of Subaki. Nevertheless, the seed has already been planted within her. Now, I only have to wait for it to bloom. Lastly, I'll contact Subaki. I'll give her back her brother. However, I must make my point clearly. If she dares contact the police, their family will suffer once more. Because after all, Subaki still has 2 younger sisters and another brother. I returned home immediately after the negotiation and took a short nap. I feel like I have a fever. Maybe I really did catch the flu. Someone's here. When I picked up the receiver, Usami's face appeared on my monitor. What do you want? The abandoned hospital. Yeah, I looked it up. Would you come inside for a bit? Usami softly replied in the affirmative. But you know, it really isn't necessary for you to come in person. Just give me a phone call next time.
いやいや、2回くらいかけましたよ。
Oh, really? Sorry, I was probably asleep.
そうっすか。風邪っすか？お大事に。
I spread out the printouts detailing the requested information on the coffee table. It was all sent from the real estate agencies. Well, it seems to be called the Erigi Hospital. I've heard it was abandoned in the eastern outskirts. The hospital's founder, Mr. Erigi, was some guy born in the Meiji era. He died long ago. I told her about the address in detail.
さすが財さん。ありがとうございます。
There are no other abandoned hospitals in the city that match our criteria.
早速出かけてみます。
I'll go too.
本当ですか？いいですよ。体調悪いんでしょ？
I'm not going because I'm worried about you. The owner of this hospital is a subsidiary of the Sano Corporation. If anything goes wrong, it could cause a scandal for Sano. I've got to keep an eye on Usami to make sure that she doesn't get into any trouble.
では行きましょうか。
Damn, I don't even have military gloves.
貸しましょうか？お揃いにしましょう。
I left my home disgusted. You disgusting woman. The residential area gets especially cold at night. I received a phone call from Tsubaki on the way to Usami's apartment. What is it? Just as I finished asking, Tsubaki's unbelievably joyful voice came from the other end of the line. What is it? Did something happen? She spoke so hurriedly that I almost envisioned saliva pouring out of her mouth. He's back? Hiroaki's back? It might just have been my mind playing tricks on me, but it felt like even my voice was shivering. It sounded like she was crying. She repeated the same mumbled yes repeatedly. That's fantastic. My whole body relaxed after hearing this. This music is great, by the way. Just gonna let it play for a second. Anyway, enjoy. No, I didn't do anything. I only let you help me make a fortune. Alright, Hiroaki must be in shock too. Cheer him up for me. I'll come visit him sometime. She left me with a farewell enriched with endless joy. Looks like she can finally have a good night's sleep. I let out a long sigh too. I don't have to worry about the police showing up anymore. Usami, it's just as you've heard. A smile appeared on the tips of her lips. However, her eyes only bore a strange glow. True, the only reason that we didn't contact the police was because the hostage was still in the culprit's hands. Now that the hostage is back, there's no need to hesitate. Right. We don't have school tomorrow. I nervously watched Usami leave. I must do something. Unlike Subaki, these circumstances didn't give me the courtesy of rest. Chapter 2. So finally, Hiroaki has come home. But troubles are just beginning for Kyousuke. I rushed to Tsubaki's house first thing in the morning the next day. The train was empty, typical of a weekend morning. Subaki immediately presented her brother to me as she answered the door. Hi. I was taken aback somewhat. Hey, you look pretty good. Given the fact that he was taken hostage and trapped in an abandoned hospital for a week. Subaki recovered her smile. Were you cold? What about food? That's pretty luxurious for a hostage. Do you remember anything about the kid? I mean, who were you staying with? A horse? A man with a horse mask, I'm guessing. Well, the kidnapper got Hiroaki on his side pretty easily. Hiroaki flashed a mischievous smile. Subaki looked like she was going to cry. All's well that ends well, I guess. What, you haven't been writing in it lately? Subaki made a refreshing smile. Their family will be facing a move after this, but the situation was finally under control. That is, until this girl appeared. Subaki turned her head aside and looked at me. Yeah, Usami was right beside me when I received the phone call from you yesterday. Usami walked up to Hiroaki as Subaki interrogated me.
髪の毛ボーボーのお姉ちゃん、こんちは。
It's an appropriate name.
ちは、大丈夫だったか？みんなに聞かれるよ。大丈夫だよ。本当か？私には何でも言うんだぞ。はるちゃん、昨日はごめんね。ひどいこと言っちゃったような気がして。気にしてない。私こそお前を知らず知らず傷つけていたようで申し訳なく思ってる。
Upon hearing this, Subaki sighed in relief.
せっかくだし上がってく？引っ越しが近いから散らかってるけど今はまだ手をつけてないから。そうだな。警察にも連絡しないといけないしな。
Right after she mentioned it,
警察？
Subaki's face turned green.
警察ってどういうこと？どういうことって、一連の事件を警察に通報するんだ。
That's the reason Usami came by today. I have to think of a way to prevent Subaki from doing so. But the following turn of events caught me by surprise.
何言ってるの？
Subaki's lips quivered.
そんなことしないよ。なんだって？
Usami frowned.
おかしいよ、はるちゃん。おかしい？私が？はるちゃんみたいに頭のいい人ならわかるでしょ？まだ警察を頼る気はないのか？当たり前だよ。なんて恐ろしいこと言うの？
Subaki's face read unbelievable.
なぜだ？だってそうじゃない？警察に連絡したら犯人が怒るよ。そしたらどうなると思う？
Usami's eyes met mine for a brief moment. Subaki's afraid of a possible second or third kidnapping.
はるちゃんは身代金をすり替えて一度犯人を怒らせたのに、またそんなこと言われても困るよ。
Usami fell silent, as if trying to restrain herself.
ごめんね。心配してくれてるのはわかるんだよ。だけど警察には連絡しないよ。絶対。
Usami gazed into Subaki with the eyes of a beast.
犯罪者の報復を恐れるがあまり、犯罪者を憎もうともしないのはあまりにも弱腰というものじゃないか。
Usami squeezed the sentence out of her mouth.
はるちゃんにはわからないよ。はるちゃんの家族がこんなことになったわけじゃないでしょ。家の電話が鳴るだけで心臓が飛び跳ねるくらい驚いて、風で窓が鳴っただけでひろあきが帰ってきたんじゃないかって夜中に目が覚めるんだよ。そんなのはもう嫌だよ。ごめんね。そういうわけだから。
Subaki closed her eyes in anguish. What an unexpected development. There couldn't be a better outcome, for me at least. Well then, Usami. What, you want to say something? In the end, Usami didn't help one bit. I'm sure she's not quite ready to just let this drop, but regardless, she no longer has any right to stick her nose into Tsubaki's family affairs.
ひろあきくんが無事で本当に良かった。帰ります。
She turned away after she finished. Hiroaki grabbed Tsubaki's sleeves.
ねえお姉ちゃん、遊んで。ひろあき、ちょっと中に入ってなさい。
Subaki shrugged off Hiroaki's grip. Ah, I did it again. Muting the phone.
ごめん。ちょっと浅井くんとお話あるの。わかった。後でおやつ作ってね。
Hiroaki took a look at me and went into the house. Don't worry about it. Anyway, this case has been wrapped up. You can return to your everyday life from now on.
そうかな。
She wore a tight expression.
浅井くん、私変かな。
Weird?
変になっちゃったかな。
I couldn't really tell you. Looking back on the horror and misfortune of the past few days, I'd be more surprised if she was acting like a normal schoolgirl.
なんかね、怖いの。今まで知りもしなかった感情がどんどん大きくなっていくような気がして。
As if trying to suppress her shivering, she crossed her arms and hugged herself. Yeah, I must admit that you've been a bit excited the past few days, but don't let it bother you.
ありがとう。浅井くんにそう言ってもらえると心強いよ。
I turned and left after seeing that smile. Well then, I'll see you at school. Just call me if anything comes up. We're all done here. Both the kidnapping and the change in Tsubaki's attitude were developing in a way that benefited me. I must have the luck of the devil or something.
待って、浅井くん。今日時間ある？
Today? Well, I don't have any special plans. Why?
ならちょっと会わない？
Aren't we already together?
改めてっていう意味。
I don't have anything to do with Subaki anymore. It's a rare occasion, but I might be busy working.
夜ならどうかな？
Wouldn't it be better to spend the day with your family? Your mom just got out of the hospital, didn't she?
だから深夜とかは。
The middle of the night? Is little Miss Giddy Two-Shoes Subaki actually asking a man out late at night?
ごめんね。なんだか不安で浅井くんと一緒にいたいんだよ。
For some reason, I get the gist that this girl is interested in me. He said that like, you know, probably like 10 hours ago. But, yeah. Honestly, it was kind of flattering, obviously. But I am going to save at this choice. Just in case I screw anything up, you know, because it's been a long time since I saved. It had been since the choice that we made to get on a route, because I've recorded all these videos one after the other. It was flattering. Want to come to my place?
浅井くんのお家？
Yeah, it'll be more convenient if we're going to meet up late tonight.
わかったよ。
Wow, she didn't even think twice about it. Talk about zero cautiousness. I should really have a nice chat with her tonight. Well, I'll see you then.
夜電話するね。
Tsubaki's voice lingered in my ears. How's Hiroaki doing now? It's 10 at night. I brought Subaki to my apartment.
平気みたいだよ。まるで誘拐されたことをもう忘れてるみたい。
It seems like the kidnapper took care of Hiroaki-kun really well.
ちゃんと返してくれたしね。
She smiled gently. Subaki doesn't seem to hate the kidnapper. I made coffee and sat down opposite Subaki. Say, have you calmed down a bit? Subaki had said earlier that she wanted to feel me next to her.
少しね。
I see. I wondered as I watched Subaki drink the coffee. What does she have to be insecure about? Hiroaki's back. It's all over. Is she nervous about the move? Well, she is leaving a home that she spent her whole life in. How are the preparations for the move going? Isn't the deadline approaching?
ちょこちょこやってたから多分大丈夫。
Were they preparing for the move while Hiroaki was still being held hostage? She really has things together. I can definitely see why Subaki is the center of her family. You don't want to move, do you?
しょうがないことだよ。浅井くんは精一杯してくれたんだし。
Judging by her tone, it didn't sound like she was afraid of moving.
それにしてもすごいお家だね。
Looks like she wants to change the topic. Oh yeah, come to think of it, it's your first time here, isn't it?
何畳くらいあるの？
The same question as Usami, eh? I laughed through my nose.
はるちゃん？
Bad move. Hmm?
はるちゃんも来たことあるんだ。そっか、なんか言ってたね。
What, is something wrong?
ううん。
Subaki shook her head. She seemed uncomfortable. Right, you and Usami have been a bit awkward lately. Subaki's eyebrows jumped.
そう見える？
It's really obvious. I can tell. Subaki hesitated before going on.
はるちゃんって浅井くんのこと好きなのかな？
What? Cold sweat burst from my skin. Please don't say such disgusting things while I'm drinking coffee, unless you want it all over your face. How could that possibly be true?
でもここんところいつも一緒にいるでしょ？
We were trying to find Hiroaki together. I wasn't much help, though.
今日はね、本当はそのことを聞きに来たの。
Well, it's not like I can tell you how Usami feels.
うん。でも私は
She lowered her eyes. What?
私は浅井くんのことが
This is upsetting. I'm not sure what sort of misconception she's arrived at, but I was only taking advantage of Subaki. There was no love there whatsoever. Hey, Subaki. I spoke in a deep voice. I understand what you're trying to say. Well, I should have known, what with you coming over at this hour. Subaki's face froze. You're saying you want to be a couple, right? Subaki remained speechless. Well, I'll think about it.
Huh?
I don't hate you, but I don't love you either. She was waiting for my next sentence. Maybe you should go home for now. But Subaki didn't budge.
どうやったら付き合ってもらえるかな？
I smiled. I couldn't tell you, but what I can tell you is that you should never enter a boy's room at this hour.
え？どうして？
They'll think you're easy.
そうなんだ。ごめんね。
I know you're not actually an easy girl. Even so, you should probably pay attention to how other people see you.
気にした方がいい？
Yeah, I hate attention. I don't want rumors to spread about me bringing girls home.
服装とかもおしゃれな方がいいかな？
Certainly. It's important to keep up your outward appearance.
頑張ってみるよ。
For some reason, she was encouraged.
よかった。日記やめろとか言われたらどうしようかと思った。
Hey, that's a good idea.
ひどいよ。
She was a little different from usual. I couldn't pinpoint exactly what it was, though.
おやすみ。
I walked Subaki back home. She seemed nervous the entire time. She hardly spoke a word. Though there were some difficulties, at long last, the annoying events revolving around Tsubaki were finally coming to an end. From tomorrow forth, my everyday life will return again. How should I respond to Tsubaki's feelings? This question nagged the back of my mind. Alright, and that seems like a really good place to end off this episode. A very productive one. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that one. I know I'm still enjoying the game, but we've still got a lot to go. Even after we finish Tsubaki's route, there is plenty of game to come. So, thank you guys for watching as always, and I will see you all next time.